I want to die. Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to
Start over. I was.
As you always, I figured that's how we do it. All right,
Should that be our thing?
it's been our thing.
I'm over here with like a tambourine.
All right.
Fireworks, spitting.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. Today we're going to be talking about iZombie, Season 2, Episode 8. Did you ever think we'd make it to Episode 8, Season 2?
I thought we'd make it to Episode 8 of Season 2 once I found out that there was a Season 2. But that was like a rough day for me.
All right.
Because someone decided, we'll just keep, because there's never going to be any more. We're committed. We're definitely going to watch it.
That was you.
That was not, no. I said that for Between, and it was totally worth it. We carried it forward for this. This episode opens with Liv and what's her name, the redhead.
Yep.
This was a whole evening last night of like revelations for me.
Explain.
It turns out we didn't get Rita's name wrong. She's using a fake name with Liv. And and her name is either Gilda or Rita, depending on who's talking to her.
That's true.
Remember, I was like, how did I get the name so wrong? Oh my god, they don't even rhyme. Is Rita short for Gilda? Is that some weird? Is that like Dick? Is that some weird thing? Fuck. She comes over and says, "Howdy, stranger." Liv's like drinking hot sauce, and it's like
I thought that was hot sauce. She's just drinking it.
She's just
going
drinking. Well,
hangover cure.
Yeah, and she goes, "Man, it's just a craving or something." Fucking. Where have you been sleeping, Missy? Is what.
Real quick though, if I ever came home and just saw you drinking hot sauce, it would not end right there. I would be asking you so many questions.
I'd be like, "Just a craving," and you're like, "A craving for death? Like, what are you talking about?"
Just drinking hot sauce? Jesus Christ, that's why we have a 2-liter bottle of hot sauce, because you just fucking drink it straight, you animal.
It's the end of the episode. So the hot sauce comes back to it. And she's like, God.
Would you let that go if you saw me drinking hot sauce?
No, I still haven't let it go.
Okay, continue.
It's too much. No, I was just saying, so she, like, now we're opening the can of worms, the whole thing. Liv has been at Major's. She's not been there. We're her, roommate who's spying on her, and blah, 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 blah. More shit's going to happen with that.
Yeah, she's like a bitch, too.
She is a bitch.
Her character, I don't understand very much. Her motivations seem so, dumb.
Sure.
I don't know. Am I alone in thinking that she seems like such a fake, badly written character because of how they're, very much like something you'd see, on a daytime, gotta watch my stories kind of character.
Yeah, I mean, it's shallow. It is what it is. So that's the thing, is you can describe something, which I'll do right now, which is she's power hungry and I'm gonna do the thing and the daddy is the thing and she's this and that or whatever, but then her heart though deep down and now she wants, but it's jealous, he's mine thing, weird, just wants to ruin good things and poison stuff or whatever, right?
Yeah. But she's there are other shows that have a character like this that I'm I fucking hate that character because they're so good at it.
That's what I'm saying.
But she's either not good at it enough, or she's poor enough of an actress.
I don't know if it's her
face looks so fake. I don't know.
I don't know if it is her fault as an actress or what the fault is. But on this show, there's a lot of that where I can describe to you, and he's actually a zombie hunter, and they're trying not to find out or whatever, and that sounds the way it sounds. But you can watch it on one show and go I'm really engaged in this, and you can watch it on some other show and be like, this is ridiculous. What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, but there've been plenty of shows where there's this exact character,
yes.
I don't know what you call this character, like a bitch, that you're like, oh, I hate you, but I love to hate you. You're so good at your job. What an actor! That's another good actor because I hate them so much. And this one, I'm like, she's just a mild irritant.
I can't single out anyone though here. I feel like there's actually something going on. Well, let's take a segue. I started watching Lost Girl as my fall asleep show.
Okay.
And that show's pretty it is trash or whatever.
It gets so trashy.
Oh, good.
They're they throw away all semblance of a plot after season 1.5.
I am halfway through. I'm on episode 5.
Okay.
'Cause I literally fall asleep during the episode.
I enjoyed the beginning of it.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm already acknowledging that it's trash. But because I watched this show earlier in like the night, and then later on I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is trash, but I still am like more into it. It's still more like engaging to me, because like it's like, oh, it's paranormal, but not really, and like, how dare you just go, and like, why are you with him now? I'm with her, I can't, and it's all like the same dumb,
Yeah.
like, why is this just soap opera where people have powers, you don't use the powers sometimes, like, what's going on? It's the exact same thing as this, but something about the like color or like the whatever of this is not doesn't hit me the same
So
way.
it's racial for you.
Yes, I don't see color. I just see white, the absence of color. No, I have no idea why, because like it's that thing where you're like, what is different about this? Like when I watch Stranger Things, I'm like, that's just a chair and like a table. Why does it feel so like 80s or whatever the fuck? How did they do this? What's going on? It was this weird intangible.
Well, that's the big difference between like you know, people that care, that are good at their job, actors, directors, all coming together in this beautiful thing.
A whole
and
stack.
this where I'm like, this is almost like a high school stage play. Do you know what I mean by that, though? Where
Yes,
I'm
but I
like,
feel
I'm
like
like nothing
I feel
about
like
it
we're
really
being rude.
sucks me. We are being
Yes.
rude because it's not terrible, because there can be good high school plays. It's just that that's what it is. It's on a different level.
Yeah, like there's something.
This is Saved by the
missing.
Bell, and like other things are like The Godfather.
But it's something that I can't, because when I watch certain things, I can totally, and I've done that where I've been like, look at this, now look at that, like what the fuck, and like we compared Batman vs Superman to like some other Marvel movie, and we're like, okay, they did it like this, and they do it like this, and it's like 7 minutes of like crap, and this is like a whole thing with subtle looks, and like the previous movie set it up, blah blah blah. But here, I don't know why. Is it like the camera angle, or like it can't be? Because how could the writing, the performances, the cinematography, like how could everything somehow come together to make me feel this way, like subtly? It has to be something, right? It's like bothering me to not be able to put my finger on it.
I would blame network TV.
You think it's
I think it's that there's so many loops and hoops and barriers and bullshit, and like they're jumping through all this crap just to get like this perfect, like it's right down the middle and no one cares. Because they might be like, I don't know, she seems a little bit too provocative. Maybe we could put her on the wall. He seemed a little too edgy. Maybe we could dumb him down. Maybe we could bring in a British guy, maybe? Like, all those stupid things.
People on forums are saying that they don't like that he's a murderer. Let's have him just not have murdered anyone. Okay.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. I don't know.
And there was no Blaine this episode, so that also, you know.
Literally zero? I knew something was bothering me.
That's what made this episode not as interesting.
This episode was a Clive-heavy episode.
It was.
In some ways.
This episode, wait, you know what makes I say soap opera before, because how soap opera-y is this idea
I'm not even gonna attempt that one.
this fucking girl, the one who gets killed, the reason this episode even exists,
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll eventually
is
get
with
to the...
is with Clive, is with the police like head commissioner dude, and some other cop that like is like the wife of the whatever.
Because
like it's just such a coincidence of bullshit.
Because she's what? A badge banger.
She's a badge bunny.
Badge bunny.
Yes,
Banger.
but just because I like people in badges doesn't mean I can have sex with all of them. Like
Right.
and like the whole contrived ring thing. So like the picture, which everyone had photoshopped on top of them, was the commissioner originally. The commissioner picture, she's wearing the ring she got from the next relationship. How the fuck does that work?
I don't know if I noted it in my notes, but yes, I actually thought about that where I'm like, well, how long has this been then? When did she steal the ring? Because she wouldn't have met them till she started working on the wedding or something, right?
That means she was like literally scrapbooking all these at the same time because they were exactly the same.
I know.
She's like, okay, I met that guy. Okay, quickly take a picture, Photoshop the face off. Like,
And
it just seems so stupid.
And isn't the thing to be like obsessed with each guy and think he's gonna be the one? Doesn't need to be time for this to happen or whatever.
Especially when
I
you say
know.
like, it rained last week. This book is still new. Like that happened this fucking week.
I know the exact same week. So how was she doing this with Clive and maybe she was doing it with everyone simultaneously?
And
because
where
she's
did
crazy?
where did the new detective, the one that was covering the case, because
Kavanaugh?
Where did
I'm
he
learning
get the
names.
book of the commissioner's one? First of all, to be evidence in the first place,
I don't know.
and then to help the commissioner like cover up this potential plot where he could have been the murderer. It's so much of it just strikes me as like, fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's a little over the line or whatever. I mean, if we're just gonna talk about bad things, so she gets locked up in jail with a like loud racial stereotype, and then
Sure.
And then, like, the whole... So I've been waiting, I think, on some level, for something like this to happen, right? Because she needs brains on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
So I've been waiting for her to be in a situation where she can't get to any brains. And for them to develop some sort of tension, because we know that she needs the brains or else something bad will happen, and blah, blah, blah. This episode, like, did it, but totally, like, wasted it, because it barely had any impact and was very quick.
Yeah.
And just was, like, in and out.
They can't afford to do that that effect for very long.
You don't even have to do the effect, just like show her and all that stuff. Is it the angles? Like, I don't feel like I'm actually in those rooms when these things happen.
Meh. I can't put my finger on what I don't like about this. Because, like, on paper, a lot of this stuff, like, should work. But it's like, how it's exactly written and how it is delivered, it's just not really hitting home for me. And
Because you... Well,
like, we are people that like, B movies.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, like, the B movies that, like, most people say are B movies. I mean, like, actual B movies. This cost $1,000 to make, like, movies. I like that kind of stuff. And this to me is, like, worse than some of those. And I give it a lower mark because it has money. Like, why is it bad with money?
No, and this has been said a lot, where it's like, that's the like, if you're like the worst shit ever, that has a certain Chris Seaver like thing to it, and then if you're the greatest stuff ever, that's something else too. The worst thing you could be is just boring or forgettable or like nothing or whatever.
Yeah.
Neutral is actually the bottom. You want to be either, or have one unusually good thing amidst a bunch of crap, and you're like, who's that guy? What else has he been in? Or like, who directed this? This is amazing, or something like that. I'm just sad. We'll just throw it away.
So the main premise of this this episode, is that a character is blackmailing someone else. They go to rough her up to try to get her to leave the husband of this person alone. She turns out to be a bad bitch and pulls out like a knife, stabs him in the leg, slashes his throat, and is about to like finish him when the gun that falls out of her purse is used to kill her.
Oh yeah, and to add on to the dumb, like, she had just stolen Clive's gun, and he knew it was her. He like shows up to the crime scene and like, oh, it's probably my gun or something like that. It's like crazy thing.
But like, he's a cop whose gun is stolen and doesn't report it.
I know. That should be what you do in the morning. Yeah, I guess he thought he could go. It's crazy. Because that's very not like Clive either, by the way. That's
I just hate
thing.
all, and like there was so much. They were so heavy on like ruining Clive in this episode. Like, yeah, he's a closet Trekkie. He likes Game of Thrones. He cooks. He some other stupid thing. He can dance and does the piano. Like, I was like, why are you doing this to him?
Those things are all fine. Those things are all fine.
But like, he was this character who they've not given any info on, and now they do it as like a big fucking information dump.
Well, because we had to have all those funny moments with Ravi speaking Dothraki or whatever. And
he knows what it means. There should have been subtitles, because I would have liked to know what he was saying.
I know. But you could tell that it was like...
What's J.R.R. Martin doing? Not writing!
Not writing. And then, but even that wasn't really paid off properly, right? It was very like, these things just fall flat for me. But it's for us. It's not even for us. It's just happening that way, right?
Yeah.
This is not a matter of like opinion.
I don't believe it to be opinion, but we do share similar opinions in most regards. But this, to me, just feels like an attempt and a failure.
Like every episode, I go into it open. Let me just talk. So the woman that we've been talking about is the person with the occupant letter from the previous episode that they set up as going to be this thing or whatever.
I thought there were at least going to be something with like, she saw us, blah, 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 something.
Or she like has dialogue. Did she say anything? I don't think she said anything.
Almost the whole episode.
I don't think
you messed with the wrong bitch is all I think she said.
Okay. I was gonna say like she didn't talk. I don't think that's crazy.
She was a mime.
So like, it's my gun detector. Fucking cross this all out. No, like I like them setting something up and then having something happen. I thought this was like a new character, right?
Yeah.
Because. Like, and I also like the idea of like watching someone fighting and doing something and something happening without knowing yet like who they even are or like what's even happening.
Yeah, no, the first 4 seconds didn't throw me off. I was fine with that. It's just the fact that the show could be called Coincidental Murder, like all the time.
As I think a lot of shows could be. We're probably not in our demo here or something like that, right? I don't know who this show is for.
But like a lot of shows do the coincidence, but it's never like like them holding a sign that says coincidence and beating you with it. Usually it's like a thing, like somebody murders someone, like, oh my god, that was your second cousin? Oh my god, I knew, oh, red dress, oh, it all clicks now. Like, these things where, like, they unfold for me, but I've never once had it unfold, I don't think, in this whole thing. It's just
Right.
like, here's some shit, here's some more shit. You know that obvious shit from before? I'm going to say it again. Like,
And a character walks in and says, "Wait a minute! It turns out they're the killer." And then they go to like talk to the killer, and they say you're the killer, and they go yes, and then they take them. Yes, I know. Another thing, Wings guy at Max Rager really is getting personal trainered by Major.
yes, he is.
Like 4 episodes ago, I said offhandedly, like, you don't think that's really happening, right? And you're like, no, that's just to get them to, because like Liv was there, and he was like,
But it is
come
really
with
happening.
me, and he walks away, and they're literally
What do you
working
think he's
out.
getting paid? Because he's an
Wings guy?
assassin. No,
Oh.
our boy Major.
I'm like,
He's an
I'm like,
assassin
I don't know where his
and
career's
he's a
at right
personal
now.
trainer.
Right?
So he's got to be making like at least a good
He
paycheck.
gets 2 paychecks.
But he's also being blackmailed slightly. So maybe he's not getting a good paycheck. I don't know.
Maybe it makes the other paycheck worse too.
It's hard to say, but weird that, like, you know, the new Max Rager is the fucking like super serum from fucking Captain America.
Yeah. Or in earlier episodes, he says this is an opioid, it is a steroid, it is an amphetamine, this is the perfect whatever the fuck.
It's a one
it's like,
sip
how is this
military
going to-
press 500 pounds extra kind of thing.
Yeah. Wings guy on the thing says, max it out. Max Rager.
All
On to
right,
the
but I
max."
find this highly unadvisable as your personal dong 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 dong.
And then he fucking goes roid rage and throws the medicine ball at the guy.
He throws like a 40-pound ball across the room and like kills a musclehead.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then they go downstairs though, and there's a zombie on a treadmill.
Yeah. Oh god.
Where's the other doctor? Lab accident. And I'm like, is that her? Because she had different hair. I don't care. And I just.
I know. I don't even.
I'm like, whatever.
I don't pay
Fuck.
any mind anymore. I'm like, all right, in your secret basement with like a heart on a hook or whatever the fuck is the carrot.
Well, it's a brain, yes, and like, but the zombie's like shambling, and it's like, see, we can only have the zombie shamble at 3 miles per hour, and then we pump this liquid into it, and now we can crank it up to 10 or something like that.
I love
was
how
like,
a dude has to
what?
go in there dressed up in like, you know, like in nuclear attire to turn the knob. When I'm like, couldn't the knob be on the other side of the glass?
Where are you putting your knobs? Yeah.
And it's like a treadmill like from the store. It's not like, you know, like it's just cheaper, I guess.
It's not like a special zombie device. It's just an actual treadmill. I guess they have gym equipment upstairs. They could just.
It's recycled.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't in the same room.
I think all these things are in the same room.
It's certainly possible. I'd love to have like the actual dimensions and you like overlay a thing. Look, they're exactly the same.
That should be the real
That's
episode.
on wheels.
The whole like, dun, 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 like, look at this angle. Where's this shadow? Who's casting that? Like the whole conspiracy behind the thing.
No.
Major's really a personal trainer. Wings guy goes nuts, throws medicine ball. Okay.
Which part is next up on your list?
It's not a list. It's just a big pile of words
Well,
this time.
let's go. So in our pile,
Let's just wrap up like the case, right?
Sure.
So they see the book and they go like, "Oh my God, Clive was married to her," and then it's like, "No, this is mostly fake. This is Photoshop." And they're like, "Oh," it's like, "Yeah, she's a total stalker." Oh, and all that stuff. And
I
then-
love it. They went out a couple of times.
Yeah.
A couple, you know, like not always being two, like the definition. Yeah, I'll go as far as it could have been 4 dates.
Yeah.
But it's still such a weird fucking thing, because she had enough pictures of him that wouldn't have made sense to be the same day. They were at Halloween together. They were cooking. He was playing the piano. Like those were all him, right?
Do you think she stole those or something?
I don't know.
The Halloween one does get me. Yeah, she had to have stolen them. There has to be.
I couldn't tell because of the costume. I'm like, was she the girl next to them at Halloween?
I have no idea.
And I won't go back.
If it's her in the picture with him she could have photoshopped a picture from her at some actual Halloween thing.
True.
But if he has these on Facebook, why are they surprised? I can't. It's fine. I liked Ravi's thing of like, well, lots of people don't have alibis for that time. I don't have an alibi. Oh, I do. I totally do. All that stuff, this whole stupid thing.
Ravi, again, he's a character that usually like saves a lot of parts for me. I like him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Wait a minute. If you eat this brain, they probably had sex, and you might see his O face. And she's
I bet,
like,
what did he say? I bet it's angry or I bet it's bitey. Or...
Yeah, he said, I bet it's angry, and then did like a cross-eyed, like, ugh, like thing or something like that. It was actually amazing. And I didn't write that down. I drew a little picture of it. I didn't draw the picture.
He drew a picture of it.
We don't know this man at all. Game of Thrones. I bet that'll be a thing.
He could be the murderer.
We don't know him at all. He could be the murderer, probably. Well, no, look at this one. The hands are white. Those aren't claws. At this point, anything's possible or whatever. The whole thing. Yeah, Ravi had a couple of things where I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was no like Jackson and relaxing and flacking and attacking and whatever his like freestyle thing it was. But no, Ravi should have a spin-off where he just does his job. He doesn't do anything interesting at all.
But he does his actual job. He never goes into the field.
He just literally works and talks to people. Can I get you? No, okay. Like, just it's just normal.
Peyton also was not in this episode, so she could have been
true.
with Blaine.
With Blaine somewhere.
Yeah.
There's no concept of any of that. There's no concept of time or like what. I wonder where they were during that time. Like, there's no effort to address any.
Never
of that.
saw Minor either. They just talked about him. They couldn't afford to put the dog in this episode.
The dog's dead. The dog's not around anymore.
So sad.
So Liv in this episode eats the stalker brain.
And she becomes very crazy.
Yeah, unhinged and jealous and all that stuff, which is poorly or aptly timed depending on if you are a character or a writer, because now her and Major are like sleeping in bed next to each other, even though there's no hanky-panky. And this is exactly what we need to create some drama in the relationship.
The amount of time she grabs his hand to open up his phone, I was like, what? Like,
Yep.
No one grabs my hand while I'm sleeping and I don't wake up.
Right.
That's my hand.
Also, he's a human zombie detector whose hair stands on end when he's a zombie and just grabbing his hand in his sleep, where he's probably a light sleeper because he's plagued by guilt and trying to detox from like being on drugs or whatever the fuck and has to deal with all this stress all the time. And she's just like, "Here, buddy."
Yeah, let me just Yeah, so that's kind of dumb. And then like I thought she's gonna see something about like the murders or anything, or
right.
But no, she only sees that.
Well, okay,
she's talking to Reed on the fucking phone. I'm like, God damn, that's weird.
Right. So let's just blow all that then.
Yeah.
So like, there's a safe. You see him putting like the syringe and maybe the list. If it's a hard, was that a hard copy of the list?
It looked like
there was like paper, and I'm like, did they print the list? What are we doing? But there should be dots on his like Google like special account that like or something, right?
You'd think.
There should be something crazy. But he's like putting that in the safe, and she comes back and goes, "You have a safe and all that stuff," and he's like, "Yeah. I mean, prove you love me, though." And it's like, well, "That's fine, I guess." And they leave or something. But then later, he's like, "Okay, I'll open the safe," and it's just it's the ring that
he swapped
all
that
shit.
Stuff.
Right, which was smart of him because fuck and
yeah.
She had to take a mega dose of brain at the end because she had been starving in the jail cell and drank a bunch of brain.
It makes some sort of a sense.
There's
I just think it's
extra
so
paranoid.
funny, like the paranoia and like it not uncovering anything worthwhile.
Well, but so you were talking to she's texting.
Yeah, she's sending
Rita.
fucking messages to Rita like, hey, if you don't think that's gonna get you in trouble, like, what the fuck? You can't be talking to people, especially like. If it was, and it is, over between them, you're starting the conversation.
Okay, so I was going to say, so like this...
You're leading someone on to fucking have your dude.
So like, as a man, that's how I interpreted it. I don't know if the target audience for this show is like women who are feeling Liv's like thing of like, oh, she sent that picture real quick, I guess it's not over, or whatever the fuck. But I would totally think what you are thinking, which is like, no, every now and then she texts me like, how you doing, and I don't answer because like I said, it's over, but this bitch is whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And now she's gonna be like, no, look at what's this picture? I don't know. You asked her for who's asking her there? It's you. What are you talking about? This is the worst form of like stupid entrapment like ever, or whatever the fuck.
Get thrown out of court like that.
But there's no court in love.
Actually, there is.
The court of love.
There was that terrible game show.
I liked how she to like find the car, put it up on like the cycling forum, and was like he rolled over our bikes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
that was a little
I guess
thing.
that's good because she couldn't use her police resources or whatever. But I feel like she could have, without any issue at all, run those plates and just figure out who owned the car.
Probably, and we may have gotten some more not answers, more questions, because at some point they talk about taking her badge away or whatever, and we've been asking this whole time like. you are like medical, officers or something like that. But what does that mean? Why are you going to crime scenes? Why are you interrogating people?
But like fire
Like what's
department
going
people,
on?
like they have badges. Like I think
I
everyone who
guess
works, garbage men may have badges for all I know. Sanitation department,
they were saying badges like badges though. I thought it was a badge.
I don't
Had a
know.
weird feeling. I don't think that she's something that makes sense that has a badge that can do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But on the show, at the very least, because it ends or near the end, she's like running the interrogation for some reason, and like Clive's talking to the commissioner guy or whatever, and he's like, "You sure you want her badge?" And he's like, "She's doing a lot of police work for an assistant medical, whatever the fuck he said,
Examiner.
medical examiner, ME, yeah. You sure you want her badge? That's a lot of police work for an assistant ME," something like that, as if like, she's got spunk. That whole thing
Yeah.
about being in my car and like knowing things about my man, that's fine.
But like, what? I don't even understand. If you put her in jail, it's like, what did you put her in jail for? She's breaking into my car. What? And like when they take her clothes, I think they have to take everything out of the pockets and put them in bags. Like,
Yeah, no, she
so
can't.
like somebody else would now know you had an affair.
And no, she can't still have. I don't think. Well, I mean, he's the commissioner, I guess. But yeah, I don't think you can even like. What did he just personally drive her to jail and say put her in jail? Like, doesn't he have to file something? They probably.
With this show, I have no idea.
Well, so the answer to on this show is no. But I think in like real-ish life or something like that, you have to be like, she was in the car, and they go, okay, we have to search the car for like evidence, and like she could have put a bomb in there or like a dead rat or something like that, right? You would like there's like a procedure you have to follow.
And regardless, you can't say I want them to be detained over the next 7 days or whatever the hell.
Right, like it's a long weekend. You're gonna be in jail for a whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, though, commissioner maybe just says, "Hello, jail. I have one, please," and just gives them to, I don't know. Just put her clothes aside. Don't check the pockets. Give them back to her when she leaves. By the way, maybe a zombie.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't like the new commissioner. I like Suzuki.
Is he the new that? The
I
exact
think
same.
he is that.
I think so, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got on this thing? Any last licks?
Nothing. Wait. Well.
Wait, I may.
Wait. No. I mean, I'm out of notes, but like, usually there's a thing of like, oh no, it ended on this, but it ended on that texting
And then
conversation.
on bullshit where I'm like, don't care. The worst thing that could happen now is that, like, for her, he wakes up, sees that, and goes, "What are you doing? I thought you trusted me. Oh God, there's no love in life." Ah.
I guess that's what's gonna happen, because they wouldn't show that and end on that unless it was gonna be like a thing.
This is like the
Right.
thing where like she like just slaps him awake. What is this? Ah.
I had a dream about you. You cheated on me.
Yeah.
I don't. So predictions.
Predictions are lame. There's
looking
going to be
forward
more
to,
drama.
thing.
There's going to be something else with Max Rager. Maybe he'll start turning into a zombie rageaholic dude.
Is he the final boss? Do they have to
I
fight?
imagine he is.
Do they have to zombie fight?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we've demonstrated that the new Super Max Rager is what they thought they were talking about it being.
Pretty much.
Rita's closing in on being a cunt. Like, there's not help. Like, they have a sample. The zombie can run 10 miles per hour now.
And apparently that one dot of blood was enough. That dry paper blood.
They just needed the information it contained. They didn't need, like, to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clive is, I guess, not
F this show.
losing his job.
Now, everything ended perfectly, as everything always will, until they're dead.
I guess there's no need to even, because like I'm thinking like, oh wait, no, there's no. I'm sad. This episode made me sad. We were hoping that it would go up in the middle, and it's not going up in the
It's
middle.
not technically the middle yet, is it?
What's the middle of 19? There's no such thing as a middle of. No, 19 has a middle. We'll get back to you on that. I have top men working on this problem.
All right, guys. Until next time, don't die in a fire.